guys. I have something to share with you. If you're watching this, then you know me because I'm only sending this to people that I know and care about. Quick preface to what I'm about to tell you guys. Again, if you know me, you also know that Patricia and I have a son with autism and Tourette's. And so my wife and I have always been on the lookout for natural and homeopathic ways to help him progress. And in addition, just like many of you, there's a lot of potential, health issues throughout the whole family, from, everything from the battles in the realm of basic health to food allergies to chemical imbalances and just plain being out of shape, right? Getting older and wanting to feel a little bit better, knowing that we're not getting what we need from our foods and all that good stuff. So I got a quick thing to share. Let's get to the interesting stuff. So knowing me, you may also know that I've consulted for tons and tons of companies throughout the years on strategic marketing and business development. I've done projects and work with Liz Valencia. We've done a lot of projects together, as you guys may know. Liz and I were fortunate enough for many years to work with world-class athletes. We're talking about guys from the UFC, from Supercross, from X Games, and more. And here's where things get interesting. So Liz and I were contacted recently by a couple of our good friends who we trust and respect. And it just happens to be from a couple of guys that are world-renowned UFC champions and Hall of Famers. I'm talking about Pat Miletich and Boss Rutan. If you follow UFC, you know these guys. You know that they're legends. Absolute legends. If you don't, look them up because they're legends. We've worked with these guys before, and as stated, we know and trust them. And in our conversation with them, they've been working with this new product that they're crazy excited about, and we started talking about reviewing the company with them for possible marketing strategies and things of this nature. And one of the things that I absolutely love about marketing is the fact that when you even think about trying to market a company, you have to really learn everything there is to know about the product and the company in order to effectively be able to advise them in any capacity on how to market the company or the product, and so all the things that go with it. Well, here's the funny thing. In doing so, we find that Boss Rutan, who is once again a legend, tremendous athlete, is taking this product, and this product boasts that it can deliver 45% more oxygen at the cellular level, while helping with inflammation, while delivering nutrients, while chelating metals out at the cellular level. Right, they're pulling out those heavy metals that causes so many problems. It's antioxidant delivery. It's all of these crazy things. And at first it seems too good to be true. Oh yeah, well, we've heard it all, right? We've heard all these different things that these new products can do. But here's the thing about this. In doing the research on both the science and the testimonies, this stuff is insanely real. It's called fulvic. Fulvic acid and fulvic mud, if you will, is found all over the world. But there's very few places that have a mass high concentration. And this company has found those places, purchased the land, patented it, put it in a delivery system that literally lets you increase your oxygen intake at the cellular level by up to 45%, which is off the charts insane for so many different things. Managing inflammation and delivering oxygen at that level for autism is absolutely insane and is a game changer. Doing that for anti-aging is a game changer. Doing that for any kind of ailment that you may be having, pain, inflammation. Let's talk about these athletes. So we're talking about Pat Miletich. Pat Miletich is a phenomenal athlete, holds multiple titles. The man has trained more MMA superstars than anybody, and he's using it with all of his athletes, for his athletes, and for himself, and getting tremendous response out of all of it. Same thing with Boss Rutan, and Boss Rutan will tell you, I don't promote products. I don't put my name, I don't put my face on anything. I just don't do that. But this is so amazing, and it's allowing me to do so many things. He talks about being able to work out just like he did, in his 30s, and now he's in his 50s. I mean, it's an incredible thing. And for performance athletes at any level, for coaches, for anybody that wants to completely change the way that you work out and increase your energy level, increase your stamina, reduce your recovery by tremendous amounts. I mean, we're hearing stories of guys having zero recovery after doing workouts that they really couldn't do for the last 20 years because of age and all that stuff, and now they can do it again and have no recovery. The muscle recovery is like off the charts. So I don't want to go into the science a whole lot. I just want to do a quick introduction to something that I believe that I have to share because I know so many people that can use it. And I want to address one more thing. So the next thing about this, again, knowing me, many of you know, I've consulted for a lot of companies and I've done a lot of speaking, and I've had an insane amount. We're talking probably 1,000 plus multi-level marketing companies approach me to try to get involved to promote their product. My answer has always been no. It's just because, even though I personally know several people that have become independently wealthy and even multi-millionaires because of a multi-level marketing program that has good products. That's the key. It has to have good product, right? I just simply never saw myself, speaking in living rooms and trying to figure out the compensation plans and having to recruit my mom and my cousins and my, all my family and friends and making that whole pressure thing. I just never was really into that. It wasn't my thing. Well, here's the thing. This product is backed by a multi-level marketing program. However, it also has an ability to simply purchase at wholesale and resell if you want, or just use it. Honestly, at this point, not only am I crazy excited about the product itself, but I'm equally excited about the business backend, not because it's MLM, but because the MLM, the way that they structured it is so crazy simple that you don't have to know anything about it. You don't have to care about the comp plan. You don't have to care about anything. All you have to do is show this to people that you think it can help them, which is the bigger part of it. This can help people. I honestly feel kind of obligated at this point. I feel like I need to share this with as many people as I can because of what it can do for your health, for your children, for your everyday oxygen levels. We're wearing masks right now in COVID. We're not even getting all the oxygen that we need. And my wife halfway through the day is like feeling loopy and almost ready to pass out because she can't get the oxygen that she needs. This right here at the cellular level increases that by 45%, which is absolutely insane. Nothing has ever done that. I mean, it's like being in a hyperbaric chamber for the entire day, and yet all you're doing is, one little dissolvable thing in your water a day. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm not trying to oversell the product. If you're interested, great. If you're not, great. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, I can't not show this to people that I believe that this can help. I'm very much looking forward to this little journey because it is absolutely insane what I've learned about what this company does, what this product does, and how it is already helping people like at a crazy level. So if you're interested at all in this, let me know. Just, to put this into perspective, yes, of course, I'm cool with making money off of this, and you should be too, because in this day and age right now, working from home, getting to create a supplemental income or an income that way outdoes what you were doing before is a very, very good thing. And if you can do that while helping other people and helping people get healthy, helping people stay healthy, helping reverse things that are causing problems for them, oh my goodness, why wouldn't you, right? So right after this, please take a few minutes to watch this next video. Liz and I did an interview with a couple of guys you really want to hear these stories. I mean, Pat Miletich, like I said, he had the Miletich fighting system, produced more UFC superstars than anybody out there. And part of his secret was a product that did half of what this product is doing now. Oh my God! And Paul Lazenby, this guy is just a stud. If you don't know him, you've seen him even if you don't realize you've seen him. He's a stunt double for Stone Cold Steve Austin in multiple movies. He's a multiple time strongman competitor. He used to be a fighter. He's just this man is a beast, and he's incredible. And his story and what this product is doing for him right now is absolutely incredible too. Boss is tremendous, and he'll tell you some things that are mind blowing as well. So if you can, I encourage you, watch a few minutes of this, just hear it from their mouths, and then let me know what you think. All right, that's it. Again, if you guys love it, fantastic. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Everything's cool. I just feel like I need to share this with as many people as possible for both reasons: the health potential and the financial potential, because this is a pretty awesome scenario. Let me go a little bit nerd on you for a minute, and explain kind of the science about this, or at least the benefits and how this stuff does this. So real quick, what is it? It's fulvic acid rich mud. And it's set up to where it's good for consumption. You actually ingest this. You can either pop these little dissolvable pills, or you can put them in your coffee or your water and let them dilute and just drink it down. It also comes in a powder where you can put it actually on the skin, because the skin is like the largest organ we have, and it'll actually absorb and increase your oxygen intake at the cellular level from absorbing through the skin. And on top of that, we're talking about eczema, psoriasis. It's taking care of things like this. Let's talk about the few properties of what it does. Right, one, it's an anti-inflammatory. Two, it regenerates cell tissue. So this is where the eczema and the psoriasis and stuff can all be worked with at that cellular level. Three, chelating heavy metals. This is pulling out those heavy metals out of your system. What it's doing is it's doing a two-way scenario. It's actually delivering to the cell, oxygenating, delivering minerals, delivering antioxidants, all that good stuff, while it's pulling out those heavy metals all at the same time, right? Electrolytes. I mean, it works through the micronia, which is insane, because basically what happens is it hits your bloodstream without taxing your liver. So this is an incredible scenario, and it's an adaptogen, so it increases your immune system. I mean, we're talking antiviral, right? This is the potential of what this thing can do for you. Is just off the charts. We're talking about basic wellness. We're talking about anti-aging. We're talking about performance. We're talking about everything from anti-inflammatory for everything that you need. Autism it will benefit. Immune systems. Your oxygenating. Your focus, your clarity. Everybody who's taken this so far says that their mental focus and their awareness and their entire mood and everything has been changed. And that comes with the anti-inflammatory properties. That comes with the oxygenating. All of that. Your energy level, weight loss, menopause. There's absolutely nobody that wants anything to do with the beauty or the anti-aging that should ignore this, and nobody that is a performance athlete or an athlete of any kind should ignore this. This is a serious game changer for all of these situations. So again, at the risk of sounding like I'm hyping it too much, because it does sound too good to be true, I just encourage you to check this out. That's it. Check it out. Here's the deal. Pat, we've known you for years. We've done some projects together. We've done projects with, of course, a lot of the people in the MMA world, Big John McCarthy and Boss Rutan and those guys.
Sure.
We trust you. We love you. We know that if you say something, you're not wasting anybody's time. You are saying it because there is a legit and considerate reason for it, right? And that's one of the things that really drew us to finding out more about what this product is. I mean, and here's the thing: people know you professionally. If you're an MMA person, how do you not know the Miletich Institute, right? Your fighting camp is just world renowned when it comes to the superstars you've produced. Not to mention, you've held multiple belts. You've got records. You're in the Hall of Fame. All of this stuff. But in your world, outside of your professional history, you got this product and did some really phenomenal things with it for yourself as well as for some of your students. And I want to hear a little bit about that, if you could elaborate a bit.
Well, and for me, I have experience in terms of products like this. I mean, I've been approached, of course, over my fighting career, coaching career, and broadcasting career by hundreds of companies. Here, take this; it'll make you Superman, and then you can talk about it and maybe get the sponsorship deal and that sort of stuff. I became a label reader and pretty educated about what worked and what didn't. Let's put it that way. But for me, I was on a product many years ago. I have a respiratory issue from black mold growing up in the basement of a flooded house.
Sure.
So I'm somebody who, without the correct products, I can't breathe very well. I mean, I really have trouble. Basically, I guess like asthma or worse at times, but I build up lactic acid super fast when I exercise, all that sort of stuff. And always wondered why I couldn't breathe right until the black mold thing came about, right? So even to the point my high school wrestling coach asked me if I smoked cigarettes. So a gentleman gave me a product many years ago when I started my professional kickboxing career before the UFC that added 20% more oxygen at a cellular level. And that completely changed my endurance. I was able to train super hard. I was able to do things that I never even dreamed of doing endurance-wise. And that one supplement won me a world title because it allowed me to train and gain the endurance needed to be able to run people into the ground, basically. So Chris, who's on this call, of course, came to me and said, I have a product that adds 45% more oxygen at a cellular level. The minute I heard that and that it was all organic and plant-based, I knew that it was game over, literally game over. This was going to be the biggest breakthrough for human health and healing and athletic endurance by far. So I knew it was a done deal. So when I got on it, I put my kids on it, my two daughters, all three of my daughters, but my two oldest daughters, one's a competitive swimmer, a junior in high school right now, and then my 18-year-old who got a Division I scholarship for academics and rowing, and she's down in Florida at the university now.
Swimming and rowing. They picked the easy stuff.
Right. But about 10 days into it, my daughters, without me prompting them or anything, started to talk amongst themselves about what was happening to their practices. And that my oldest daughter was saying, going upstream in the Mississippi in singles, because they have singles, doubles, and then fours, and then bigger even than that. But they were in singles, and she was, let's just put it this way, really, really kicking some butt. And she just was telling my other daughter that practice is easy now, and this is rowing, and so then my 16-year-old chimed in and goes, I'm recovering so fast between sets. And you got to understand, she comes from a swimming team since she was 5 years old. Her coach was a former Navy SEAL. These are not easy practices. And the wind shake in the pool when he yells at the kids. Trust me, he doesn't care if they're children. He will yell at them if they're not doing what they're told. So my kids are tough. And she said, and fast forward a couple of months, they're having the best seasons they've ever had. They're, because especially girls, they'll get to a point where they mature and then they kind of level off and they can't get any faster for a while, right? Or they never get faster. And it's a tough time for these kids. Well, all of a sudden, my 16-year-old is going boom and starting to climb back up and dropping time. She goes, I'm turning times in the 100 like I never even thought I was ever going to reach. And she goes, and it's not even hard. That's the thing. So when I heard talking like that, Memorial Day was the next day. And I said, well, I guess I better test it out. So I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long, long time, well over a year since I had done really any real running. And so I said, Memorial Day's tomorrow, an average of 22 veterans commit suicide per day. So I'm going to go out, run 22 miles. I'm 54 years old. I haven't run for over a year, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I ran out 11 miles down a country road by my house. And then I turned around and I came back and figured I was going to be crippled the next day. And I was hardly sore and got up the next day and ran a 5-mile recovery run. And that right then, it just concreted in my brain. I knew it was going to work, but it really concreted it for me in my brain that this is unique.
So that just blows me away. I mean, obviously, I was being facetious earlier with swimming and rowing. Those are incredibly taxing and difficult
Yeah.
and competitive sports for someone to be in. And so for your daughters to have that kind of gain that quickly in recovery, you mentioned muscle recovery, you mentioned endurance,
Breathing,
and
speed, everything.
so
Personal,
everything. And
everything.
I would guess, and let me ask this question for you. I would guess that there's a potential for them to go on to for them to go on to professional potential as well as all your fighters, right? This may be a question with people that are in some sort of level of professional athletics. This is all natural. There's no chance of any problems with drug
No, no,
testing or
no, because here's the thing is, where you walk into a GNC or another store like that, the products in there are made in, I don't know, 7 factories or more maybe. But I remember, at a time where there was only a few factories making all of that. So the chance of cross contamination in those products is very, very real. Well, Black Oxygen Organics, from the swamp to the package, they handle all of it, and that's the only product that they deal with. So there's no chance of cross contamination. It's 100% plant-based, 100% organic. So yeah, you've got no, and there are UFC fighters who have been ordering it. I've been paying attention to the orders coming through.
yeah.
And there are UFC fighters getting it. We've already got one world champion also, and so it's, yeah, no, it's totally safe. It just people of course are going to be wary. They want to double check, and that's nobody wants to get suspended for taking something that they shouldn't. But they have this. If you test positive for something, it wasn't this product. I'll tell you.
Right. It's as natural as it gets, right? I mean, and that's the beauty of this. And 45% more oxygen to this at the cellular level. That's absolutely insane. And we don't need to dig into all the details of the science. Yeah, you're taking yours right now. But the fact that it's also chelating heavy metals and taking out the garbage, if you will, from the cell at the same time. I mean, that's an athlete's dream, right? I mean, talk about amazing.
Yeah, it is the recovery and the mental clarity that a lot of people are getting. A lot of women talking about the hormones leveling out, and so many other things that are happening. The gut, fixing the gut, and I have to say, because especially just by Chris being here, it reminds me that we cannot say that this treats, cures, or prevents any sicknesses or diseases.
Right. But the bottom line is, in today's day and age, we have to look for holistic solutions for things. I mean, our society is not exactly set up for health, right? What we eat, the pollutants, the free radicals, all of the stuff that's happening to us on a day-to-day basis, all the pollutants in our body. If you're not looking at anything that holistic, you should be. But in this case, I've never seen, and I've never been so excited about a more natural, easy to use, and just phenomenal product. And to hear what it's doing for you, and to have that trust level that we have with you, with us knowing each other in our past, it's really exciting stuff. And with that, if I can for a minute, I'd love to talk to you, Paul. I mean, Paul, you've got a crazy career, man. Everything from a world champion to doubling for WWE wrestlers on in movies and film and all that stuff. I mean, you're a phenomenal athlete. I've followed your career for a while. You're an amazing guy, and like me, we're not that young anymore, right? We're not 16 anymore. And so when I heard your testimony, and I'd love to hear a little bit more, and again, for anybody that knows your career, they already know you, man. You're just a champion in every sense of the word. But if they don't know you, the bottom line is, you're a guy looking for, health answers, just like the rest of us. And you found them in this. And I just want to hear it straight from you. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts.
Sure. Yeah, well, I'll just go over my background a little bit. I started out as a competitive strongman and powerlifter back in the late 80s, early 90s. Moved into professional wrestling, so I was doing both of them simultaneously. I ended up wrestling all over the world. I wrestled in Africa, I wrestled all over North America. And then during the course of that, I kind of, because of the crazy nature of mixed martial arts, and Pat can attest to this, in the 90s, it was the Wild West. You know, if you were warm and breathing and stupid, you could get in. So with no qualifications whatsoever, I never wrestled in high school. I never did a martial arts tournament or boxing match. I'd only ever had street fights. That was the full extent of my fighting experience.
Nice.
I got brought into what was arguably the #1 promotion in the world at the time, called Pancrase, which was where people like Boss Rutan were fighting, and
Legend there. Yeah.
yeah. So I just jumped into the deep end and swam with the sharks and got my ass kicked over and over again and learned how to fight that way. Ended up finally, after losing my first 6 fights, I finally started winning, and I became the undisputed Canadian Muay Thai kickboxing champion. And at the same time, I held the NFC Canadian Mixed Martial Arts Championship and retired with all those titles. Overlapping all this, I also started 20 years ago as an actor and a stuntman here in Vancouver, BC. And what I consider to be the highlight of a career that is riddled with highlights. I mean, I would say playing Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War is right up there, but the #1 highlight would be my run doubling Steve Austin. You know, he came up here and we did 7 movies together. He broke my nose in the first one, and then after that, I doubled him, so I didn't have to worry about him clobbering me anymore. So yeah, I've always had a mind toward athleticism and longevity. I remember being like a 20-year-old kid and seeing the in-shape 30-year-old guys in the gym and thinking, okay, I'm going to be that guy. What do I have to do to be that guy? When I was 30, it was 40-year-olds. When I was 40, it was 50-year-olds. And now it's really cool because my training partner is half my age, literally. And he says that to me now. It's like, dude, when I hit my early 50s, man, that's what I'm shooting for right there. So I know I'm doing it right. But that's why when Pat put this in front of me, well, first of all, I was, even though I never doubt Pat, but at the same time, you got to be skeptical. I mean, this stuff works so well. I've tried hundreds and hundreds of supplements in my life. It sounds too good to be true on paper. So I had to try it, on the strength of Pat's word, I was going to give it a shot. And, he called me up day 3, day 4, you feeling it yet? You feeling it yet? And I said, no, well, honestly, Pat, I don't think so. And he just laughed. He said, you just wait. And day 6, I tore the gym to pieces. And it was like I was in my late 20s or early 30s again. I was throwing heavy weights around, but my joints weren't flaring up like they usually do. And I had that moment that a lot of my clients now, like a lot of people I introduced to Black Oxygen have, where you sit there and you're like, it can't be that, can it? And you're doubting it for a while. Like, it's got to be placebo. It can't be that. And then you realize this is the only thing it could be. I introduced Black Oxygen, and all of a sudden my athleticism went up. But the real turning point for me was a week before I went on it. I started Black Oxygen on my 52nd birthday. Best present I ever gave myself.
Nice.
And a week before I did it, I had what was for me a typical heavy squat day, a barbell squat day. I did 545 pounds for 3 repetitions, and it was grinders, and I had to rack the bar because I almost blacked out. I was hanging onto the bar afterwards so I wouldn't fall down. That was all normal for me, to nearly black out during sets and really be in pain after a set. And then the rest of that day and most of the next day was devoted to recuperation, just walking around like a zombie, waiting to loosen up again. That was normal. So a week following that workout with 545, I started on Black Oxygen. A week after that, I'd only been on this for 1 week. I went back in the gym. I put 551 on my shoulders, and I did it 5 times. Way more explosive, way easier, no head spins. I wasn't blacking out. And about a half an hour after that set, my training partner's looking at me funny. He said, dude, you're supposed to be walking like an old man by now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not stiffening up. Like, I'm a little stiff and sore because that's so much weight, but it's like 30% of what it normally is. And it never got above that level. I was waiting for it to set in. The next morning, where I would have normally just been laying around waiting for my body to recover, I was up at 6 a.m. doing DDP yoga, so it's, that right there was when I Pat had been telling me, you really need to sell this stuff. And I'm not a salesman by nature. I cringed when he made the offer. And that's when I contacted Pat and said, dude, sign me up. Because this is something where I can look anybody in the face, no matter if they're athlete, non-athlete, old, young, sick, healthy. I can look anybody in the face and say, you will be much better off for taking this, and mean it, and know that it's never going to come back on me because it's the truth.
That's amazing. That's one of those things, like you said. You know, you hear people talk about this this thing and that thing that's helped them. You know, whatever supplements they've taken, but never have I ever in my professional career, and I've been doing marketing for 30 plus years for some of those other supplements and some of those other products, and never have I ever heard so many people tell the similar stories about just how it impacted them and how quickly. Right? I mean, people are finding immediate success. We're talking, you know, 3 to 10 day mark. They're seeing and feeling um, uh, large differences in their health and their lives and their recovery. And even not just the athlete. You mentioned to anybody, not even a professional athlete, just an average Joe. You know, the benefits that they can get from this are just tremendous. And that's why I'm excited about this. And of course, it's kind of like in the racing world, right? All the best tires are tested on the racetrack, but those are the kind you want on your car regardless, right? I feel the same way with this, right? You guys are the race cars. You guys are the professional athletes who've been doing this all your life. If it works for you, I want it too, right? and that's why, you know, we're excited about this.
one real acid test for me that it's really cool to see is you know, I've been working in the Vancouver film and television industry for 20 years, so I know a lot of stunt performers, and you know, we have 100% injury rate in stunt performing. Everybody's hurt all the time to one extent or another. You know, Pat will tell you it's the same in fighting. So to be getting reorders from people, you know, it's people contacting me sometimes. In certain cases with certain elite athletes, sometimes it's their first dose where they'll call me up and go, dude, what's going on?
What is this?
Yeah, I had one female stunt performer called me and said, I just jump rope for an hour straight and trained for 3 hours straight, and I've never done that in my life. And she had been on it for 3 days. Alex Kitchkevich, I like to bring him up. He's a crazy Ukrainian acrobatic freak. I don't think he's a human being. I mean, he is Ryan Reynolds' stunt double in Deadpool, because anything you see Deadpool do in the comic books, Alex can do for real. So you can imagine the level of talent, but also the level of stress that his body's under to need that level of explosiveness and flexibility and be doing high impact stuff on concrete sometimes and things. And he's had some horrendous injuries. And he just put in his second order with me. He said, this is crazy. I can train a lot longer now without a break, and my nagging injuries aren't bothering me anymore. And this is on a body with a lot of road miles on it. So I'm getting story after story like that from professional stunt performers who can't afford to be taking something that doesn't work. You know, they're not going to, and they know me too. They're going to bust my chops like crazy if I sell them something that isn't good. So it's just one person after another, and word's getting out. You know, I expect to be, you know, I've already got another Vancouver stunt performer who wanted to sign up as a distributor. And so he's out there getting it out there as well. And I just see this thing being really, really huge, you know, among everybody, among the stunt community, among athletes, among non-athletes, everybody.
Well, and one of the things that's interesting about what you and Pat are both talking about, I mean, you guys are professionals and you're working with other professionals. You don't take that lightly. You can't introduce something into your bodies or your world, period, that can jeopardize that. That's your livelihood. That's your life, right? It's not just, hey, I want to feel better, let's try anything that I can, right? You guys are very cautious and you know, cautiously optimistic, I'm sure, with whatever that you take. But when you do find something that's completely all natural that works the way that this works, I mean, it's just mind blowing, right?
When you do talk to Boss, unfortunately, Boss texted me. I think his notice for this meeting got sent in the wrong direction online, so he wasn't aware of it. But he wants to be on the next meeting for sure. And when you get his testimonial, obviously you'll hear more of the same. And that's a body with a lot of injuries. Like when I heard it worked for Boss, that was a huge feather in Black Oxygen's cap.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, well, let me ask one last question. Either of you guys can answer if you like. For the average Joe, for the guy that's not doing any sort of athletics for his daily routine, you know, what would be the takeaway for them in your mind?
Well, I'll speak to this because I've had so many people reach out to me after taking the product or even getting their parents on the product. You know, one guy said, he goes, you've changed my dad's life. My dad tore his Achilles tendon. You know, he's not done anything since then, and it's been years, you know, losing his health. everything's gone downhill. He goes, my dad's getting out of bed at 5 a.m. now. He's going to the gym. He's working out. My dad's making a comeback because of this stuff, and
That's fantastic. Yeah.
that's something that, putting the right things in his dad's body, this product has completely changed his outlook on his life. And that is bigger than any world championship.
Absolutely.
That's bigger than anything we could do. We're changing people's lives to the point where they literally, they want to live life. You know what I mean? That's big.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Chris, may I ask you something here really quick? You've been involved with this from the start. What's a standout testimony that you've heard in regard to general health or recovery of any certain scenario? I know that I've heard a few myself, some really great reports with people with autism, some really great reports for menopause and things like that. What's a standout that you've heard?
Well, there's two of them, and these are personal stories. So I can give you, right from my wife and I started using the product about a year ago exactly, and within a month she was pregnant with our fourth child. And normally, when you get pregnant, you're going to stop taking everything. She decided that she wanted to continue to take the black oxygen through her entire pregnancy. She never swelled. She never had constipation. She never had hemorrhoids. She never had anything. It was a perfect. Our son is so advanced right now, and he's been taking it every single dose from being 2 or 3 days old until today. And the advance, it's just amazing. I have a 2-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son, and a 4-year-old daughter.
Oh,
and
my.
all of them have been taking it for the entire year. So it's not just something for athletes, it's something for everybody. And the enhancement, it's amazing. All of my kids used to get sick, like all kids do. They're always getting sick. And for the last year, knock on wood, there's been no hospital runs. There's been no runs to the doctor. There's been not even a sniffle. And that blows my mind. Myself, I've had chronic migraine headaches since I was 16 years old. I mean, so bad, debilitating, where I would have to go in a room for 2 or 3 days, and it was just terrible. I would get sick. Very, very bad. I've tried several, Imitrex, ergotamine tartrate, Midrin, painkillers, all of the things that people try when they have migraines. And when I started using this product, since I've used this, I haven't used any medicine whatsoever. I don't take any medicine. I'm 53 years old. I don't take anything at all.
Nice.
And I've not had one headache in over a year. And once again, knock on wood, but not one migraine. Normally I get migraines either every 6 weeks or every 3 months, but I get at least 2 migraines every 6 months, at least, since I was 16 years old, not one in a year.
So I think one of the things that is so phenomenal about this product, I mean, you talk about the 45% oxygen at the cellular level, in addition, right? But the anti-inflammatory properties here are amazing. And if you talk to anybody who's into health and wellness, they'll tell you inflammation, right, and lack of oxygen are some of the biggest problems that every human faces, right? Period. It's the source of so many ailments and problems that it's ridiculous. So this is a phenomenal scenario here, and I love hearing these. Man, first of all, congratulations. You have 4 children under the age of 5. Woo!
Yes, I'm married 5 years and 4 children. I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 2-month-old. Oh, about to be 3-month-old.
I have 4 children as well, but they're quite a bit older, so it's not the same. You've got a lot of fun ahead of you. But it's phenomenal to hear what this product is doing for you and your family, man. That's amazing.
Well, it's also given me it's given our family a lot of stability. It's created a level of stability because the product does work so well and so many people are getting on it, that during this pandemic where most people are losing everything and 42 million people out of work, we have our quality of life has increased every single month since I got involved in the company. And it's amazing.
And that leads to one final little topic, and I say little, not intentionally, because it's not little at all, and that is the business opportunity here. I mean, uh, a lot of people have their own preconceived ideas about what direct selling is, or what multi-level marketing is, or any of that. This product is distributed that way, but it's because of the fact that people want to help people, and in that process, you're also gaining gaining a whole new opportunity, where in this economy, in this craziness that we've all seen in the last 6 months of this year or more, there's an opportunity here to actually turn around not only your physical health, but your financial freedom at the same time. And that's pretty incredible. I mean, I for one have known about business structures like this for many years, and have never engaged in that sort of a thing. But I can tell you right now, I am truly excited about both the physical properties of what this can do for your body, for your health, and helping people, and the financial opportunity that it brings in doing just that, helping people and introducing to them a way that they can increase their health and live a better and more fulfilled life, right? That's why, yeah, go ahead, please, Pat.
Well, I mean, I can tell you where I was at the point, in my life with, when Chris called me. I hadn't done any broadcast for quite a while, didn't know if broadcasting was coming back, because I do live sporting events. And it wasn't a good feeling. And I was, in the process of launching a couple other ventures. It'll probably be pretty lucrative, but I can tell you this, the fact that, I was looking at 2 more kids I've got to put through college. We've saved some money, but look, this isn't a good feeling. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this is not a good situation. And I was feeling the pressure, trust me. And when Chris called me, the light bulb went off, not just because I knew I was going to change a lot of lives, because I knew that my kids were going to, if I just wanted to throw cash down and pay for their college, I was going to take care of them. I knew that I was probably going to, if I just applied myself a little bit to this, I was pretty good at building a team in mixed martial arts. I did it. I retired from coaching years ago because I climbed that mountain. I dominated the world with a team for 10 years. We had numerous world champions and put 95 kids on TV. I had my fun with that. So I know how to build a team. I don't know anything about multi-level marketing, but I know one thing. I'm going to make millions of dollars at this because the product works and I'm passionate about it. And instantly the light bulb went off and I changed. My whole vision changed instantly. And I've had people come to me who are in much worse situation financially, that are really scared because they have no control. They have no control over what's going on, and they lose their jobs, and they can lose their houses because of it. Well, that's all changing for them. I've had executives from corporations who still work for those corporations, but are doing this and selling this because they want to walk away from those corporations, because they don't want to. They see the vision for the freedom of me. I just said to myself, I'm never going to have to depend on anybody else for a check ever again. I've always been the captain of my own ship. I've always been an independent contractor, even when I've worked for Showtime Sports, ESPN, Mark Cuban's network. I was never an employee, always an independent contractor. And I kept it that way because I like being the captain of my own ship. And this is true freedom. And people, this is the first time I really dove into multi-level marketing, and I get it only because the product is completely changing people's lives. And that's the best way I can put it. And I had Chris, and I'll say this for Chris, I guess, because Boss was saying, man, people are saying this is a multi-level scheme and this and that. And Chris said, man, he goes, people don't get it. He goes, corporate America is the scheme.
Yeah.
That Joe makes millions of dollars a year, and everybody else underneath him toils, works till retirement, and dies 5 to 10 years later with a pension that they really, most of them can never enjoy life. In this, it's an upside down pyramid where the person that got you involved actually works for you.
Right.
I want everybody that's underneath me who wants to dive into this and get after it, I want them to be millionaires. I want them to have a blast in life, and that's it. That's why this is the most amazing experience I've had in terms of business. And like I said, I've built a pretty good team before, but this is going to be a lot bigger.
Nice. Well, Pat, you mentioned a couple of things I want to touch on. To your point, corporate America, is completely unstable. I mean, and that's one thing that this pandemic here recently has taught us all. Nothing is guaranteed for us right now, right? But one thing that is guaranteed is we all have relationships. We all have a need to be healthier. And if you can combine those two things and help the people you have relationships with to be healthier and build yourself financially at the same time, it truly is a win-win. And I'm sure we'll get more into it with Chris and in some other calls, but this isn't your standard multi-level scenario anyway. The way that the comp structure is put together here, it's so that guys like you guys and us, we don't have to care about what the comp plan is. All we do is expose a really beautiful product to people that need it, and everything else just happens. It's beautiful.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So
awesome.
That's what I really like about this whole thing, because I don't have a brain for sales. I mentioned it before, and I'm still working on getting the handle on the black oxygen structure too. But just watching it work, it's obviously different, and it's obviously for the benefit of more people instead of the benefit of just a few people at the top. And I can see a big future in what I can understand of this so far. And yeah, you're right. It's for a guy like me who has trouble getting his brain around this stuff. All I really have to focus on is just get it in as many people's hands as I can. And every single time I just get them to try it. And yeah, they're skeptical and they're gonna look at me sideways and think it's like, yeah, I'm trying to make a commission, but I'm trying to make a commission giving you something that's gonna make your life better. Right. And then they take it and they find out that's true. And it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. And then they want to be on board. So it's delightfully simple in that one respect for a guy like me.
Nice. Pat and Paul, I have some reach into some MMA gyms here in Southern California. And if you had a direct message to some of those athletes, I know that you've explained a couple of things, but if you could talk directly to them, what would you say? Why should they get on this product?
Go ahead, Paul.
I was actually going to paraphrase you, Pat, and just say that this is going to be a legal but unfair advantage in mixed martial arts very soon. Why don't you take it from here, Pat? Because I was just going to be using your words anyway.
Yeah, well, for me, when I was on the product before many, many, many years ago that increased oxygen by 20% at a cellular level, I didn't tell anybody except my fighters. And the guys that you saw on TV, they were on that product. And we were known for running people into the ground endurance-wise. That was one of our true, work ethic had a lot to do with that. Our practice was brutally hard. A lot of fighters traveled in from around the world who were already very good fighters, but when you climbed in our room of between 40 and 50 guys in our prime, as a team, we had 40 to 50 guys ranked in the top 10 in the world. That's a huge number of people. Yes. Who are very, very scary individuals and very intense individuals. Yeah. So when fighters would come from other places, other gyms, they were the big fish coming out of a little pond into a jungle of monsters. And they most of the time didn't last longer than 2 or 3 days when they planned on staying 6 weeks because of the endurance and the intensity, right? They just couldn't handle it. So with that product, our team was, and for a decade, I kept that secret. I don't know how we pulled it off, but we kept it secret. And I told all my fighters, don't you ever tell anyone what we take. Never. I don't want anybody to get this. So anyway, with this product, I'm no longer a coach. I no longer have a team, so I don't care. But I do care. I do care that athletes have the ability to recover from their workouts correctly, the ability to train so intensely that they, the hardest part of a camp is the camp itself, not the fight. So, my mentality was always, and mixed martial arts and combat sports, people get hurt badly. People have lost their lives. I witnessed a kid many, many years ago when I was sitting ringside as a guest at a show. A kid died in a kickboxing match. His heart blew up because he wasn't properly conditioned. He was overweight, and somebody who wasn't a good coach put him in there, and he passed away. I never wanted to be the person who had to look at a parent or a spouse and say, your loved one's dead or permanently damaged because I didn't train them correctly and prepare them, right? I was the guy that had to weed the weak ones out who did not belong in that room. And that's the way I saw it, because I never wanted to witness that again. So with this product, you know, coaches, athletes, everybody can have confidence in the fact that at 45% more oxygen at a cellular level, that's like drinking a hyperbaric chamber and an altitude tent all at the same time.
Yeah.
Your athletes are going to improve their endurance dramatically. They're going to heal better. You know, all of it is so important for not only just staying healthy and competing and winning, but after you're done fighting, the damage that you've taken, well, you got to be able to get through that, because, you know, people are not the same after combat sports are done with them. You know, so that's the thing that I would tell them. If you want to win fights, or at least have the best shot at winning fights, because you don't run out of gas, because you can be the toughest guy in the world or the toughest gal in the world 5 minutes, but that fight goes 7 minutes, your ass is grass. And that's what it comes down to, is technique and endurance. You put those two things together, plus that natural grit that people have, and they're going to be successful. So the athletes that are going to be on it, and like I've said, there are UFC fighters already ordering this, they are going to have an advantage over you, no doubt about it. And you know, we're finding out already. You know, I had a fighter who won a world title come up to me after the show. I called the fight, didn't even know he was on black oxygen. He came up to me, and during the fight I was saying, I don't think people understand how much endurance it takes to move like this kid's moving for 25 minutes. This is insane. He's not even that good of a striker, and he looks like Floyd Mayweather right now. And I'm not joking. It was dramatic. He's an incredible wrestler, a brawler, tough guy, but he completely changed as an athlete. And he came up to me at the hotel after the show, and he said, "Pat, I want to tell you something. I've been on black oxygen for 6 weeks. You changed my life, dude."
No.
And that's that moment.
Amazing.
Like for me, when I won a world title on a product
Testimony.
that added only 20% more oxygen, just think of that. That I just probably changed the trajectory of that kid's career. He was, you know, he very easily could have won that fight anyway. But I tell you what, the style in which he did it makes him a lot more marketable.
That's gorgeous. That's awesome. Well, hey guys, I want to thank you guys for your time, sharing your stories, sharing what this means to you. The goal here obviously is to share with as many people as possible, because like you just illustrated beautifully, you know, changing someone's health is changing their life, right? In whatever capacity that is, whether they're a professional athlete or they have ailments or problems that they need to get through, or they just need to be healthier, like all of us, right? So that's our goal here, truly. So I thank you for your time and invested in doing that with us.
And Chris, remind them again.
We do not treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It's a natural mineral product that allows your body to heal itself.
Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Liz.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate
Right on.
it.